Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members of the patrons, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So the PL-9 was actually found in the files, guys. So very interesting missile. So if you don't know, the PL-9 is basically just an evolution of the PL-8, the Python 3, right? Made by the Chinese, and it had a cryogenic liquid nitrogen gas cooled IR seeker capable of plus and minus 40 degrees of bore sight angle shots. Okay, so it's very capable. It is pretty much, as I said, an improved PL-8, and we are going to take a look on how it is in the game. It's not like added, you know, it's in the files just like the Python 4 is. So we don't know when it's coming, if it's going to be good or not, but we can kind of take a look. So the first thing that you need to know is that the 40G limit probably is going to remain, okay? According to the main sources on this missile, at least, right? Of course, it depends on many things, and it's kind of weird, I gotta be honest, because according to most sources, the PL-8, the Python 3, should be 35Gs and not 40 that it is in game. But the PL-9C variant was 40Gs according to these sources, but in the game the normal ones, the PL-8 is already a 40G missile. So I don't know, I just have a feeling that it's probably going to be the same, you know, 40Gs that we see. Okay, so let's take a look on how it is implemented in the game right now. You can see in the screen, we have the mass, we have everything, and we have a very interesting thing, the force exerted by the booster. So 35 kilonewtons and a 1.25 time of booster. This is basically like half a second more time on the burn, but less power than the PL-8. So it is like, so the PL-8 is 37.6 kilonewtons with 0.78 seconds burn time, and the PL-9 would be 35 in the game right now, at least 35 kilonewtons, so 2 kilonewtons less, but burning for 1.25. So this already gives the PL-9 almost like 1/3, almost twice as much, or not 1/3, but I forget about that. Almost twice as much delta V on the booster itself already at the beginning. Okay, so it will already start with a lot more energy than the PL-8, and then it changes to the sustainer, obviously, as you see on the screen, 16 kilonewtons for 2.75 seconds, a little bit less power than the PL-8. The PL-8 is 20.5 kilonewtons for 2.85, but at the end it is a little bit less of a delta V on the sustainer, like almost 100 meters per second less than the PL-8, but the amount of delta V that you have at the start makes it so that it's a very fast missile, like a really fast missile. Is it going to be as fast as the PL-5C? I don't think so. I think it's going to be very close to that initially, but the thing is that because of the sustainer, the PL-9 will have 946, at least for now, total delta V. This means that it has more energy than the R-73, more energy than the PL-8, more energy than the AIM-9M. And I mean, it gets a little bit close to the R-27ETs. Does it mean that the missile can actually like go as far as an R-27E? No, not really, right? But still, it is a lot of energy and it can go really far. That's the thing. The PL-9 will be a PL-8, but accelerating like a PL-5 and having more range. That's the thing, right? And then we can go downwards on the guidance and everything like that. It feels very similar to the PL-8 in many situations, and buffed in where it needs to be buffed. So for example, the FOV, it's a little bit smaller, 3 degrees instead of the 3.6, means that it's harder to actually see flares, although it doesn't have any type of IRCCM right now added to the files of the game. Okay, so we don't know exactly how that's going to work out. Everything else that we see, I mean the autopilot, everything like that, it is going to be adjusted for what the missile needs to actually do the 40Gs, right? Or the 35 in this case, because That's the funny part. The PL9 in the files has a maximum G of 35 instead of the 40 of the PL8. But I think that's going to be changed. And I mean, in real life, especially in the C variant, they have a 4-element infrared seeker, which means that it has a very advanced IRCCM. So I don't know if the initial versions of the PL9 had something like that, but for sure it had some form of IRCCM. If this missile receives the IRCCM, it is going to be one of the best missiles in the game. It is going to be all aspect, one of the best IRCCMs. We don't know exactly what type, but still, it is going to be fairly good. With a 40G, 35, 40Gs, and a very, very fast missile with more energy than an R-73. Which means that it probably will be the better all-arounder missile in the game. Just losing maybe for the R-73 in a sense of the very short-range dogfights, because it has so much acceleration that the missile will just go to the 40Gs really quickly, and it will not be able to get really close ranges because of the speed of the burner, you know? So yeah, very, very interesting, guys, to see a missile such as this. Hopefully it's added. The aircraft that could get it are obviously the J7s, the J8s. There are some other aircraft. Technically, I think the JH can actually use that thing as well. So there's many, many aircraft, but honestly, I just think that it's a preparation for the future. It might be for the J10 or something that is coming, or one of the JLs, for example, or something like that. That is going to come in the future, especially because a lot of these more modern aircraft like the J10, the J11, J15, 16, 20, 35, GF-17s, all of those, they use primarily the PL-10, which is another level of missile. It's more like way better. The PL-9 is just an improved Python 3. The PL-10 is like an IRIS-T, R-73M, AIM-9X kind of situation, right? So way, way better. Even better than some of the ones that I said. So yeah, but it is very cool that we are getting that step up, and expect the next patch to be one of the largest ones, and probably the one that we will see a lot of aircraft, top tier aircraft, being added with a lot of new missiles. There were some other interesting things added and data mined. For example, this appeared showing basically how many points you need each 2 days, mission points, inside the game points, to get the actual, TOG tank, you know? So, for example, if you go to a higher tier, like a tier 7 in RB, you will only need to do basically 22,000 points instead of the 35, and the multipliers will take basically the rest, right? In simulator, 16,000 and so on. Every single time it's like that, so it's an interesting thing. There were some other things that I tried to find. I don't know if it was really correct or anything like that. There were some U-boats, torpedoes and something like that, so we might see that event that Olivia leaked with the U-boats and stuff, but nothing concrete yet. The PL-9, it is in the files. Hopefully it's added. It would be way cooler than the PL-8s that are in the JH7 and in the J8F as well. But let's wait and see how they are, implemented, if at all implemented. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye.